This perp back with another video, and I just got done watching Wentworth season 8 episode 5, and wow, we are halfway through this season and things are getting really interesting. We're getting a lot more information. Things are getting really hectic for our characters, and I'm just enjoying this season. It's a very psychological type of season. You got characters playing a lot of different mind games and just a bunch of things going on. But make sure you follow me on Twitter at perpminded420. With all that being said, let's get right into this review. So now in this episode, we focus a lot more on Ann's character and why she has this kind of grudge against Judy and why she goes so hard on Judy. And just a lot of things are starting to change because of Ann. She wants Ferguson to be locked up in Wentworth, but Will is trying to put a stop to that because if somebody's lost their memory and they stay in a place for X amount of time, they're going to start to remember. It wouldn't be a good look for them at all. But Ann's going through a power trip. While that's going on, tension between the women inmates are just fucking brewing. You have Mari trying to stay low-key and trying to get away from Lou, because now Lou's kind of got control over her. So she keeps trying to poke at Reb. So that's going to be interesting. But also Lou is kind of on her little quest of power. She's on her rise to power. Really interesting stuff. Ruby tries to get any information she can on her sister. She can find out where she's at so she could tell her about her father dying. So this is where Judy comes in, but it kind of backfires as they get this opportunity to do this job, and Boomer takes upon herself to take a photocopy of her ass, and this completely embarrasses Ann in front of the minister, and she just goes completely off, and she wants to find out who was a part of this. So she gets Lou to kind of just investigate, while she has Linda as kind of her right hand girl, and just things are about to just completely change from this day on in the prison. The whole top dog situation, that's going out the window, and just wants revenge at this point. And this is where I've never seen somebody put the fear of God into Boomer the way Lou has ever since she has arrived. So that definitely tells me that they have passed. I doubt that they'll explain it, but this is going to be interesting. Mari kind of sees a situation where she could kind of use Rebel. She's kind of trying to get Reb into Reb's head and whatnot, but to see Boomer this terrified was really interesting, and just to see how intimidating Lou can be throughout this episode. On the other hand, you have Will and Allie kind of more worried about Ferguson. They don't want her in this prison. So if you have Ferguson and Lou, it's going to be an issue. But Lou is just getting a little bit too power hungry, and she's just enjoying it as the corruption keeps going. Ann's power trip trickles down to Linda, and Linda is ordered to put Judy in the slot where she kind of pepper sprays her and pretty much abuses her power. Vera sees this, thank God, because who knows where it would have gone next. And Vera pretty much confronts Ann about the mistreatment of the inmates, and she's not for that. She's like, you got to put a stop to this right now. And even Will pretty much kind of takes a dig at Linda, and Linda, you could tell throughout the season, she likes to have that type of power. She likes to get her rocks off with that, and Ann is definitely planning something to where they're gonna do a complete takeover, while the women are really trying to figure out what's going to go on within this prison with just everything that's going on with Lou. Things are just really getting tense, man. Really getting tense. You have Mari trying to tell Reb, are you sure you want to? She's trying to get Reb to pretty much flip sides, to where she could kind of get. I still think something's going to happen with Reb. She's going to get herself caught up in something, and it's going to trigger Lou. And I just don't know, man. It's just a lot of interesting things that are going on with these three characters. I can't wait to see flesh out. But now we get to, this epic showdown where Allie completely loses control, and you see who's really the top dog. And you see that Lou doesn't even care about being top dog. And this is why things are going to change. And, Allie doesn't know what to do at this point because she's never really been in his situation. She tries to make a statement, but, it's too late because all the girls pretty much turned on her. So she's never been put in a situation where I'm curious to see what she's going to do. Is she going to go completely dark side and try to take out Reb? I don't know. We'll see. I'm so interested to see what happens with Allie's character because she's just going down this super dark path. She's trying to do it the right way, but I think she's going to do some things to get Lou out the way. So meanwhile, going back to Ann, we get a lot more backstory on Ann and why she pretty much has a disdain for Judy's character because Judy is labeled a terrorist. Little did she know that Judy was pretty much set up. So I like this kind of backstory that she gave about, how she lost somebody that she loved to a terrorist attack. And, this was kind of, she made deals with, Will to do certain things, and she kind of went back on them, like telling Will, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, as far as making sure Ferguson does not come to Wentworth and goes to Sydney. She pretty much says, no, that's not going to happen. So things aren't going to be looking good for our trio, that being Vera, Will, and Jackson. It's just not going to look good for them right now. Meanwhile, the episode ends off with, Ruby finding out where her sister is so they could kind of connect, and, she could go tell her what's going on with her father. But the person that takes her to this location is not on her side, which ends up with Ruby getting pretty much kidnapped. And now it's up to Rita to pretty much find her sister and kind of confront this. I really feel like Rita might die in this situation. She might try to trade her life for her sister's to protect her. Who knows? What do you guys think in the comments below about this whole entire episode? Let me know. Till next week, I will see y'all later. Peace.